Welcome back for some more Picasso fun. Today we are going to be making the very famous guitar that's in one of Picasso's paintings. Now in the painting you'll notice that the guitar itself is not blue, but that is going to be the theme of our guitar because Picasso went through this whole phase where everything was blue, kind of like the picture, or most of the picture, like we're seeing above. So to commemorate and represent that, we're going to be creating these really cool blue guitars today. And yours might look anything like something of these. Okay? You'll notice that most of them just have like a lot of really cool big geometric shapes to them. But one of the optional things that you can do for today is if you have like an old unusable CD or DVD, you can use that for the kind of center part of the body of the guitar, like we're seeing all the way over there on the right hand side, and these are in our slides too, so feel free if you want to take a closer look at any of these, pop into our slides and you can check these out. Another optional thing would be yarn or string. You could always just use your oil pastels to draw the strings, but if you wanted to actually have them be 3D and sticking out a little bit, go ahead and grab some yarn or some string from your art supplies. All right, well, let's begin. Step number 1, we are going to draw the guitar shape. So I've got all my supplies here, my cardboard, scissors. I'm going to be using a marker to draw everything so it's easier to see on the camera. You could start with a pencil though first if you want to, and then go over it with the marker, or just start with the marker too. Totally up to you. The good thing about pencil though is that can be erased. The marker cannot. Of course I've got my oil pastels and then those optional items, my CD and yarn. Okay, let me move some of this off to the side. So once again, step number 1, we are going to be drawing that guitar shape, which kind of looks like a peanut, right? Kind of like that figure 8 peanut shape, a little bit wider maybe. And remember with Picasso, we're not super worried about symmetry, meaning that it's like the same on both sides. So if yours is a little bit off like this, you probably noticed in those examples that was the case too, and that is a-okay. So here's the body of my guitar, but I'm also going to need that handle too. So I'm just going to cut an extra piece. Now if your cardboard is big enough where you can actually just like make it all, like you've got enough for the handle to draw it all in one piece and cut it out all in one piece, good for you. Yes, you can totally do that. Mine, as you can see, is not that big. I did have an extra piece of cardboard just in case I would need it, but I think I'm able to get what I need out of this one piece. Once you've got it all drawn out, go ahead and cut it out. And then just as a reminder, if at any point during this video, if anything goes too fast, you can always pause, rewind if you need to, and rewatch. If ever it's going too slow, you could always turn up the speed. Then I kind of sound like a chipmunk, which is also sort of funny. So feel free to watch this video at whatever speed you need, to pause whenever you need to pause it. All of that is 100% allowed and encouraged. All right, ooh, making some of these turns can be kind of tricky. I should also mention, if you don't have like cardboard boxes, like the thicker cardboard, you can always use like cereal boxes or cracker boxes, that thinner cardboard. That works really well. And in fact, sometimes, especially for our littler friends, it can be easier to cut too. So feel free to use cardboard that's a little bit thinner if that's what you've got on hand. All right, cutting out the handle here next. Because I can tell you, after cutting all of these between demo videos and all my classes, my forearm starts to get sore, and so do my fingers from cutting all that cardboard. So I totally get that. Okay, if you are like me and you had to do those separate, you could glue this now. I'm going to wait till later though. because it doesn't really all fit on the screen otherwise. So I'm going to save that for the end. I'm going to move on to step number 2. So step number 2, after we've got it cut out, we're going to draw some big geometric shapes and patterns onto our guitar, and we're going to color them in with our oil pastels using various shades of blue. Okay. Now, one thing I want to remember is if I am going to be using, if you have the CD or DVD, you know, you can kind of plan out where that's going to go on here. I maybe should have made mine a little bit bigger. That looks a little bit too big for this, but that's okay. Once again, these aren't supposed to look entirely realistic. So I might just draw some lines and create some shapes in here. Maybe there's a wavy line over here. Maybe I draw a skinny triangle over here. Maybe I even draw a star in there, right? Kind of a funky, fun star. So have fun with this. Maybe there's a circle over here. And a line going through it. That looks pretty fun. By the time I add that CD in the middle, I think that that's going to look pretty nice. Pretty nice indeed. So now I'm going to get out all my different shades of blue and just kind of line those up and have them ready to go. I can also use some neutrals like white. Maybe we get out our gray. If you've got silver, feel free to use that too. Right? Any of those neutrals will work out really nicely and add to it, give us some more options. I think that's it for mine. If you've got extra colors at home too, maybe you've got some crayons, grab those out. No reason why we can't. All right, so I am right-handed. I'm going to start from the top left so that I'm not smudging too much. If you are left-handed, I'd start from the top right, and that'll help you from smudging. Or otherwise, remember, other trick is we can use like a paper towel or Kleenex, something like that. And I'm just going to start coloring each of these shapes in. Now I probably won't color the entire thing for the video, just so that the video isn't going 30 minutes here. But we'll get enough just to get the idea of the direction we should head into. Maybe I do some of the gray over here. So once again, things like whites and grays and the silver if you have it, those will help add some dimension and color, but still keep it in that blue category. Doesn't take away from that effect of that monochromatic blue scheme that we're going for here. Another section. Kind of fun coloring cardboard, right? Almost makes music as it goes over all those ridges. Kind of like how that sounds. So I'm going to continue to color it in. That's how it's looking so far. But I want to take my time, color the rest of it in. I'm going to also want to color in the handle too, right? So I'll have to decide what blue. Maybe I even do different, I could do different things on here too. Maybe with my guitar handle, I do something like this, and then maybe like that at the end. Who knows? Feel free to get fun and creative with this too. Just because it's your guitar handle doesn't mean that it has to be one solid color. We can have fun with that too. So we'll color this part in as well. All right? So take your time, pause the video right now if you need to. Take your time to color that in. Then, if you're like me and your handle is separated and you haven't yet glued it, that's going to be our next step. We're going to want to glue that together. I would probably use a liquid glue for that. I think that that's going to hold a little bit better. And then the next 2 steps are optional. So you get to choose if and whether you want to do this. But if you wanted to use that CD or DVD, try to see if I can get this all. I'm going to take this apart. It's not all going to fit. We would glue that down here. Once again, I would use a liquid glue for this, and just make sure that you're getting a good amount of glue all over the back side of it. And then we'll give that some time to dry. And then, if you wanted to also add strings, this is optional as well. You could either, draw them on with your oil pastels, or you could take and glue them on by actually using some string. So it would go all the way from the top of the handle all the way down, almost to the bottom, not quite to the bottom, but it would go all the way almost to the bottom here. Okay, so that's where we would want the string to end at, and we would do, maybe you're going to be able to fit 3, maybe you can fit 5 or 6, however many strings you can fit along the way. But then our ultimate goal is to have something that looks kind of like this to finish it off. Of course, don't forget, once you're done with your beautiful artwork today, or any of your artwork from this week, don't forget to add it into our Hall of Frame. So the link for that was emailed. It's also in our Club Hub, and it's also here in our slides. We got lots of places for you. Don't forget, the directions are always right here for how to add those. But basically what I want to do is find an open slide. I'm going to claim my frame by putting in my name. And then the easiest way, there's like 20 different ways to do this, but I think the easiest way is to come up to where it says Insert, Image, and Camera. And then you'll take a picture with your Chromebook camera. It'll automatically add it into the slide and just adjust it as needed. I cannot wait to see how these turn out. I think they're going to be so cool. Make sure you give them some time to dry before you start rocking out on your cool new blue guitar. We'll see you next time.